Welcome back and thanks for joining me again for another reaction video. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. It'll help me out and it'll also make sure that you don't miss anything new that comes out. If you like what you see, big thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down, but grateful that you're here nonetheless. The gloomy weather in the UK has forced us indoors today, which is not the end of the world, but we are going to be diving in with Mr. Sam Fischer and his ballad, This City. Sam in this song kind of erupted with the immersion of TikTok and the success that the platforms had. So a lot of you will have heard portions of this song as it's been used. There's been over 1.3 million global TikTok creations. There's been over 1 billion views of the song on the platform, and really pushed his stardom up over the last year. He's been doing loads of tours with one of the guys, I think supporting one of the guys from One Direction. I can't remember which one. They're all the same person, so that's also okay. But we're going to be diving in and looking at This City. I haven't heard the full song myself. I've heard snippets, as most of you would have heard yourself. Let's see what Mr. Fischer's got.
I've been seeing lonely people in crowded rooms.
It's a phenomenal voice.
Covering the old heartbreaks with new tattoos. It's all about smoke screens and cigarettes, looking through low lights at silhouettes. But all I see is lonely people in crowded rooms.
That's very cool. He had like this steady rhythm for the first few lines of the verse, and then when he went into looking through low light and silhouettes, that bit kind of just broke the pattern of that verse, and then he brought it back down again to I've been seeing lonely people in crowded rooms. I think it's just a nice way to break the pattern of what he's singing, and the fact that his voice has got such a nice tone and he can drop to those lower notes makes it really, really nice. He has super warm, super stripped back. Feels like you're sitting in a club watching him just on a chair with an acoustic guitar, which is incredible.
The city's gonna break my heart. The city's gonna love me, then leave me alone.
Oh, wow.
The city's got me chasing stars. It's been a couple months since I felt like I'm home. Am I getting closer to knowing where I belong?
Just a quick nod there as well. He's obviously singing about the city and not being home. He's a Sydney-born guy, so he's been in Los Angeles, I believe, for like the last 6 or 7 years. So he's obviously, that's kind of the theme of what he's singing about, and there's a real authenticity to that. So I think that's really incredible. He's singing from the heart, which is great. Also, a cool note to see that all the choreography and stuff that he's doing, he's got this red kind of jacket on, whereas everyone else is in these earthy tones, which helps it stand out. So it's just like more of a form thing than anything else, but didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be more of him just walking through in the video, but that's very cool. Beautiful chorus. The fact that he lifted the energy with his vocals, and there hasn't been kind of the rest of a band join yet. I don't know if there's going to be, but it still feels very stripped down. Still feels like he's the person, his voice is the thing we need to be focusing on, and the guitar is just there to provide almost a slight percussion because of the way that it's picked. But super interesting, very cool so far.
The city's gonna break my heart. She's always gonna break your heart. Oh.
Nice.
I remember mornings where my head didn't hurt.
I'm assuming that's about getting drunk in LA.
Nights when I didn't feel like work. She wakes up at noon and she's out till 3. She leaves her perfume all over me. But I remember mornings where my head didn't hurt. Oh, the city's gonna break my heart. The city's gonna love me, then leave me alone. The city's got me chasing stars. It's been a couple months since I felt like I'm home. Am I getting closer to knowing where I belong? The city's gonna.
The thing that I like a lot that he does as well is when he's doing his own harmonies, when he's doing his kind of backing vocals and he's harmonizing with himself, he's not just sitting a few octaves away to make it like a traditional harmony. He's doing some of that, but he's also doing these other runs, and he's kind of adding a fullness to the vocal without it being a direct harmony. And then he's kind of drifting in and out of that, which I can't tell you if that was planned or if that's just something as a natural vocalist he's just really good at, but you don't see that enough in my opinion, and it really suits this kind of music. So big fan so far.
Break my heart. She's always gonna break your heart.
Nice falsetto. They're very cool.
She got me wrapped round her finger. She got a hold on me. She got me wrapped round her finger. The city's gonna break my heart.
Whoever filmed this has done a phenomenal job. I mean, obviously, but it's really refreshing and nice to see.
Been a couple months since I felt like I'm home. Am I getting closer to knowing where I belong? The city's gonna break my heart.
So cool.
It's always gonna break your heart.
I love that there's been no introduction of like a band. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. I wasn't sure if they were going to bring in kind of subtle drumming and more like a more solid bass line or something like that. But if you asked me in the beginning of the song if they're going to do that, I would have probably bet money on it. But super happy they haven't, because the song's incredibly beautiful. It's super authentic. And his voice, it's such a confidence thing for an artist. His voice is enough to carry the song through. You could take the guitar away and you'd still want to listen to this. So really happy with this so far. I think the production is, it's such a hard thing to not overdo this kind of thing with loads of strings and stuff like that. But the fact that, I mean, hopefully he had a lot of input in that. It wasn't just a producer, but really, really, really beautiful, well-produced, confident song.
Yeah. Oh, the city's gonna break my heart. Hey, she's always gonna break your heart.
Yeah, I think I don't know, man. Let's pause it there. He's a fantastic singer. I certainly haven't played any music in the States, but I've got, you know, I've gone to the States a number of times, and Los Angeles is an overwhelming place, and I can imagine this guy from Sydney just going over there and trying to make it as an artist, and then coincidentally with TikTok erupting. I don't know how that happened. I'd love to find out more about it, but obviously it's easy to see why they used this song for a lot of like kind of more emotional sentiment kind of pieces of content, relationships and stuff on TikTok, because it's beautiful. It reminds, he's got like a Sam Smith tone to his voice. They still sound like different singers, but he's got that kind of it's like a wobbly vibrato, but in a good way. It's still quite contained. Really good. It's like songwriting of an Ed Sheeran with the kind of voice of a Sam Smith. That's what it feels like to me, of course, but that's just an interpretation. I think he's an incredible songwriter, and if he's going to be writing anything like this in his next songs to come, then I think he's going to have an enormous following. He's one of those artists that I hope isn't kind of a one hit, and I also hope that he doesn't try and do something completely different. You don't want to hear an album full of just these songs. That would be terrible, or just too heavy. But very interested to see what he does with something more upbeat, and hopefully he just sticks within his wheelhouse and writes a lot of songs where his voice is the hero, because I don't think he needs anything else. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Video is very cool as well. It's obviously more like, it's like a contemporary dance of a video, if you will, which is quite nice though as well, because the music is so stripped back. It's nice to see a video that you don't have to really think too hard about. You can just watch, and it's not confusing. It's just it adds more power to the lyrics and the message that he's singing about. So incredibly beautiful. Loved that. If you've got any other recommendations or any other comments, please let me know. Pop them down below, and I will definitely be keeping an eye out for more Sam Fischer. And he's officially going on the playlist. I think if I was going to rate this, I'd say out of 10, song gets a solid 8. I think it's right up there with what you'd expect from a beautiful ballad. Video wise, probably 7, I guess. I think it's quite simple, and I know that's, again, deliberate, and they've done that on purpose, and it's beautiful. Yeah, just a really nice package, really nice song. It's not too long. They could have made it a bit longer, but I think it would have gotten too much, especially without having a full band ensemble with that. But I would love to see a live performance of this as well. So if you do see anything, let me know. Tag me in it, and I'll make sure I get a reaction for that as well. But thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it. Have a lovely day, and I'm out.